Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, wherever you might be watching this on this truly wonderful planet of ours. I'm saying that because I think it truly is, even though there's a lot of stuff happening at the moment that makes us maybe not think so. But if we get ourselves stuck into that, then that's it, all lost. So today, I'm going to talk about Hollywood and female heroes. Not a lot, because the V8 supercars are on and I really want to watch that. And those of you who don't know about the V8 supercars, get on and have a look at it. We're watching the Ipswich race today. It's Sunday afternoon on the 23rd of August in this wonderful year of 2026. And get down there and smash the button and subscribe, because that'll just make me feel good. So I haven't been on for a while doing a video because I've been laid up, and when I say I've been laid up, literally I've been laid flat. And my doctor told me, my specialist told me that I have worn out, I had worn out a hip joint. I had zero cartilage in the hip, and it was every time I walked it was bone on bone. And those of you who have had that sort of pain understand why I probably haven't done anything for a while. Those of you who haven't had that sort of pain will understand what a hip replacement operation is. Get onto YouFace, Twitgram, book, YouTube thingy and do a hip replacement animation. I don't think you can get a full video of it. You might be able to get snippets of it, but you can sort of see what they do. And where the joint is great, I have no pain in my hip joint anymore. When they hammer the pin into the femur, the top of the thigh bone, and they ground out the hip and they put this socket on or screw it in or smack it inside the bone, you just think about it, right? There's a lot of pain going on. So I haven't been able to do anything. So not that I want sympathy, because, I don't want sympathy. I'm just letting you know why I'm on this topic at the moment. And what I'm going to say, it's going to sound like, and you Karls and Karens out there, get off my back. If you're not going to be interested, you're going to think I'm going to be racist or misogynistic or one of those stupid things that you'll get on your high horse about right now, then just go away. I'm not interested. But those of you who have got a logical sense of logical... Did you hear that? That's my killer poodle. It's a giant poodle. I think we might have someone coming. Anyway, I'll get going until they do. So, where was I? No dog. It just loses your train of thought. Anyway, I was watching these videos and, those people in misogyny, I don't care. Those of you who have a logical sense of mind, you'll actually understand that I'm not being judgmental. I'm being observational, and there's a big difference. So, judgmental is saying, Jesus Christ, you see that bloody feral hippie the other day? That's judgmental. Tone, base language. If I said, I saw this hippie the other day, that's not judgmental, that's observational. And saying the word hippie just paints a picture. I shouldn't have to say to you guys, I saw this person walking down the street that had baggy pants, floral design, no shoes, scruffy, unwashed hair, dreadlocks maybe, stunk like bad body odor, wore those vests, in your mind, you would just straight away say hippie. So I'm just saying the word. But it's the tone and the manner of the delivery which makes it a judgment. So it's like all the words that we're not allowed to use anymore. Like, you bloody retard. That's not judgmental. That's not even observational. Or maybe it is. It's observational. It's just a little bit of a joke. So anyway, what I'm saying today is I watched a couple of shows. Being laid up, and that's all you can do is watch television, and the best you can do is get through a day and not pull your hair out. But I watched most of the shows I thought I was going to watch. I did a lot of YouTube and, a bit over that sort of to a point now. But just a couple of days ago, I watched borderline the worst action movie I think I've ever seen. And I've seen some real stinkers. But this one was, I'll get to it in a second. I'll just paint a picture. The actress that was in it, was a middle-aged, overweight, borderline obese, not really, but, a doctor might say she was, black woman. And her name, Viola Davis. I don't know. I don't even care to look it up. It's Viola something. The first time I saw her was in a show called How to Get Away with Murder. Fantastic actress, like really good in that role. She was a professor teaching criminology or psychology for the criminals or something like that. And one of the students killed someone, and she, in the way the show went on, I think they did another one after that, the first one, about how to get away with murder, and they used her class to help them get away with murder. So that was a really good show, and as an actress in that, no question that she's a good actress, but she's not an action hero. She's just not an action hero. She's a professor. She's a soccer mum. She's middle-aged, overweight. But anyway, so based in South Africa, the movie was about a president and leaders around the country, like a G20. Those of you that follow anything will understand the G20. They get together and decide on how things are going to go for us in the future. And the G20 was held in South Africa, and it was taken over by a band, and not a bunch. We're talking about a whole heap of mercenaries. And these were kick-ass men led by an Australian, big, strong man, beard, big muscles, kick-ass guy. All of them were strong. All of them were able. There was one nerdy guy. He was obviously, what do you think he was doing? Guess. Tell me, quick, in the comments, whatever timeline this is. Tell me what you think the nerdy guy was doing. Yeah, you're right. He was on surveillance in the camera house doing the nerdy shit. But all the other guys were just strong, big men, right? And as the movie panned out, this president of the United States went out to go powder her nose. I don't know what she did. No, she didn't do that. But the mercenaries came in. There was a big explosion, gunfire everywhere. She just rallied some people together, and they went out and did some stuff. And then she was separated from the bunch. So there was 4 of the people with her, 5 if you include her bodyguard. But there were the bodyguard and the president, the middle-aged, overweight president, a South Korean woman, and a female finance something or other, second most powerful woman in the world because she was a finance person. She was short, wearing platform shoes. I'm not judging that. It's observational, and even she says she was short in the movie. That's why she needed the shoes. And the English Prime Minister, who was just a weak-ass person, like, my God. I wouldn't even want him around here to help me mow the lawn, for Christ's sake. At the beginning, he was just a loser. And this, I'm going to keep saying it, middle-aged, overweight, female president really had to save the day. Now, she had her house husband, who was the first man, first woman, first whatever he was. He seemed to be like a decent man, like he wasn't weak. He was pretty tough, doing the role of a man in the background, which is sort of, anyway. He's got his son, who was the youngest child, and he was believe it or not, a geek, a computer nerd or a game player. And they had a nearly 18-year-old daughter who was, believe it or not, a rebel. And she'd escape Secret Service all of the time and be drinking in the nightclubs, had no respect for the role of the president and the fact that her mother was the president. She just resented every part of it, like just the atypical bitch that you'd want to slap. You'd lock her up. And anyway, they were put somewhere else, and the president had to do her stuff. And these mercenaries came in. They had to try and find the president because they were crypto, whatever. Anyway, don't watch the movie. Read the synopsis, but that's it. Don't watch it. I did it for you, and I'll tell you that it was absolute crap. Anyway, she went out to save the day, and at some stage in the movie, she lets us know that she never really saw military service, and she got elected based on her rescuing a Afghani child from the rubble of this building. She'd seen the war and guns and bombs blowing up everywhere, and she actually never saw service. She happened to be in the right place at the right time for this photographer to take a photo. Hence, then she did all this stuff. So as this movie plays along, she does all the hero things and sacrifices herself. And, of course, she's a president. I don't care if she's middle-aged and overweight. You would do that as a president. But all of a sudden, she tapped into her Rambet. So she obviously couldn't tap into a Rambo because she's a woman. So she tapped into a Rambet. In saying that, where Rambo actually saw war and he was a veteran, he could kick ass, she was a Rambet, so she never saw anything, so she could kick you in the calf so long as you're lying down. Anyway, all of a sudden she was beating the crap out of these people. She was smashing them and smacking them with frying pans and rolling with them. And in the beginning, she did a little bit of wrestling with her bodyguard. And, okay, yes, she can do that. But you can't do it in a kitchen, fighting a man who was 4 or 5 times her body weight, who was like Hulk Hogan on steroids. Maybe not, but he was bloody big. And she was kicking his ass and all this sort of stuff. And all of a sudden she was firing machine guns like she'd been trained as a SEAL for 20 years. And she was it's just absolute shit. And I was just rolling my eyes and slapping my head. I just couldn't believe I kept myself going through it. But I did it because I was feeling masochistic. And I thought it was really important that I train myself to get out of bed and get back to my life and not watch stupid shit television. And this was stupid shit. Anyway, obviously, in the end, she saved the day. Helicopters flying over the balcony and beating up the bad guy. And it was just shit. Which brings me to the point of female heroes. And I actually, look, tell me if you're watching this and you actually are watching it and you're at this point, well, congratulations, and you're a female, I need to know if the truth, really get into it. Don't say what the bloody Karls and Karens want you to say or the social media wants to say. Just be honest with me. Do you like watching female heroes doing stuff that is physically impossible, given that you are, say, middle-aged, slightly overweight woman? You walk up to a man in the street and punch him in the face and know you go to the ground? Just tell me if you think you could do that. If you're realistic and you go, yeah, no, couldn't do that. I couldn't even punch my 16-year-old son who's half my weight in the face because he'd turn his face away and slap me. No, he wouldn't if he was a good man. But anyway, tell me if you think you like to watch female heroes, because I doubt it. Unless you're a fucking middle-aged, overweight lesbian, you'd watch those shows and you'd think, yeah, that's my girl. She can do that. I don't believe any woman, like not, you know what I mean, straight woman would have any joy in watching shit like that. I don't believe any men would. If they did, then they were adult males, which to me are children, and they could be 50 or 60 years old and still be an adult male, a child, and who rely on their women to be the heroes. They're the men who would lie in bed with the noise outside and pretend not to wake up and have the woman go out and find what the noise is. She will go and do it, and some women may even enjoy that. But deep down inside, I think they would resent it, and at the end of the day, they would end up leaving their husband because he's a watery-ass blouse. And honestly, I've said this a lot and I keep saying it, men are men. Men would not allow a woman to do that. A man would get up. A man would, hear the woman getting out of bed and go, what are you doing, dear? Oh, there's a noise. Hang on, lay down. I'll get up and do it. Where an adult male will just pretend to be asleep and not do it because he's a lazy shit and would rather have the woman do it. And they're weak. And I believe media, Hollywood, and the absolute abundance of female heroes has made our men, our boys, weak. And they're now growing into adult males. So they're not men, they're adult males. But just to bring that back a little bit, I actually don't mind female heroes. I like Van Helsing and Underworld, and there's another one that's out recently. I even looked it up before and I still don't remember it. Old Guard. And far out, 2 women in that, like kick-ass women. But it's fantasy. They're immortals. And as soon as you put everything to do with fantasy in it, you go, cool. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Because it's fantasy. We know if the woman pulls out a sword and she's got a bow and arrow, yeah, kick ass. Like, you go there, girl. Xena, warrior princess. Yeah. because it's fantasy. We know it's fantasy, and men can relate to that because they're sexy, right? If Viola Davis did a fantasy movie as Old Guard instead of Charlize Theron, fuck me dead. Like, not even a dream. You just wouldn't do it. So men watch those shows, and girls, I think you do too, because deep down inside you goes, yeah, all girls think Charlize Theron is hot in those movies. Her politics suck, but the fact that she's a good-looking woman in those shows goes without saying. And men love to watch those because it's fantasy. But men, if you're watching this, congratulations, you write down there as well, would you prefer to see male heroes or female heroes? And I'll give you time to write that. I prefer to watch male heroes because I want to relate. I want to go, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow because I want to be a hero. I want to do that shit. I want to protect my family and go out and protect the community because that's what a real man does. You know, if men didn't do that back in the day, humans would have died. We wouldn't have survived. If we allowed the women to do it, that woolly mammoth or that saber-toothed tiger would have killed her, come and killed us and eaten our children. Because, you know, and this is absolutely no disrespect to women because I idolise women, you can't do that shit. You just physically can't do it. You might want to. You might think you can. And all of those things don't match to the reality. You might find the exception to the rule. Like a woman might be able to do it out of 100,000. And that you can't live your life based on 1 out of 100,000. You've got to go with what's real. And again, I believe almost all women would rather see a male hero, someone they could idolise and wish that their partner was, because most men now, adult males now, are watery-ass blouses. They wish their man was like that, and they find a man hero, because men can do that. Most men like to see a male hero because they want to have aspirations and goals to be like that. So we need to get that back into play. We need to get that happening to be real. And I think that's critical. So Hollywood's got a lot to answer for. The one show I did watch recently, which I really enjoyed at the beginning, was called Person of Interest. And that had a male hero who was CIA. He was a bum. He was rescued. He was cold, unemotional, did the job, had to do what he had to do. It was really, really good. As the series progressed, they brought a woman in who was a little bit like this. She was smoking hot. She was in another couple of shows that I'd seen. She was in Buffy. No, not Buffy. The spin-off. Anyway, can't remember. And she was in that, and she was really cool in that. And she was a cool killer, but she could still beat up men. And she was probably about 10, 20 kilos heavier than Twiggy. Sorry, that's showing my age. Really skinny, right? And she couldn't have punched anyone and knocked them out. She would have hurt herself. But, you know, give it leeway because the man was a strong, hero, defiant male. And the show progressed, and they had another cop who was a cop in there who was strong, masculine male, always had the quirky, funny things, but not weak. He was still strong and able. And then they brought another character, a woman who was shorter than the first woman, but solid, muscular. You could see that she could probably fight because she had that demeanour, the way she walked. She probably was like a UFC fighter. She probably could fight. And she could be a little bit more realistic. She was kick-ass with guns. She was a CIA or some sort of an assassin who ended up working for the good guys. And you sort of take that. You go kill him, dog. You sort of take that because the rest of the show is more balanced, to have the one skinny woman kicking ass. And you go, yeah, that's fair. I don't mind that. She was a female hero. As the series progressed towards the end of 2015, I think it ended, the main hero became softer, still shot people, but he got more in touch with his emotions or more in touch with his feelings. And the other cop male hero was the same. He didn't change. And the two females just became the more dominant characters, and they more kicked ass, right? And it started to lose itself. And I believe it ended after 13 episodes in the last season. And the main hero died, and the main female hero died. But the cop hero didn't die, and neither did the second woman who came in, who was the strong fighter. And there could be a spin-off with that if it continues. But Person of Interest, that was a good show. So, again, I don't mind female heroes, and I'll even take it to a little bit of a degree of a female hero if she's young, right? sorry, but middle-aged women aren't heroes. Like, they're fantastic carers and providers and businesswomen and could potentially be presidents of the United States. No worries at all. But don't strap a machine gun on them and try and make them out to be a hero. It just doesn't work. It's why, for me, it's why our boys are weak now. Our boys won't make their mind up. They won't work. They won't make decisions. They want someone else to do it for them. They'll stay at home and say, Mum, Mum, Mum. And they won't even listen to their father, who's trying to make them more men, hopefully, unless he's a soft, under the umbrella, under the thumb man. The boys are soft. And again, it's probably why the West has turned to shit. It's why these radicals are coming in and taking over, why we're allowing the Karens and the Karls of the world to let us do what they're doing, and instead of just squashing them and putting them down, you know. How they can carry on about shit that happened now, but not remember that they were supporting it 5 years ago. It's like, my God, they're just idiots, hypocrites, losers, and frustrating the crap out of me as an old man. So clearly I've been laid out flat for too long. It's time I go and do some work. So in saying that, I'm done. I'm sort of glancing down here because I'm watching the V8s as everything's happening. So I'm going back to that and watch V8s because, you know, pretty cool. I know NASCAR's good. A few Americans who might be watching this, and if you support NASCAR, go for it. But I watched one yesterday round and round the track. I know the science of it is unbelievable, and the pitch and the grade and staying on a curve a bank is unbelievable, but there is absolutely nothing like a street circuit race. I watch NASCAR street circuit races all of the time because you're going round and round, always a left turn on the ring tracks. But when you're doing circuit racing, you're going left and right and down hills, up hills, chicanes, all these things that make a car like you're racing. It's different. It's so different to round and round in circle NASCAR. But heroes that they are. So on that note, remember this. And just final on that, let's get on to the media and let's get on to Hollywood and try and bring back the reality of heroes, male heroes and females supporting role. And I don't mean that I don't care, misogynistic term, because I believe most women would rather be at home looking after and raising the future leaders of the world rather than being out there and being alone as CEOs of companies where men aren't interested in them, because most CEOs don't want to go out with another CEO. You know, they just don't want to do it. But sorry, it's like going out with a man. I'm not interested. Anyway, on that, enjoy your journey. Remember to treat everyone the way you want them to treat you, to love them the way you want to be loved. And in doing that, you'll actually learn to love yourself. If you love yourself before you love other people, then you're a narcissist. You know, that's just the truth of it. So if you want to learn to love yourself, start loving other people, not unconditionally, with conditions, but start loving other people. And that's it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Love them the way you want to be loved. And you know, the world will be the place that I believe it is. And we're losing the sight of it. So on that note, so long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, and wait.